What is going on, everybody? Silver Scrounger here, and today I went out shopping and got stuck in traffic. So I figured I'd come on here and just talk a little bit about some things that I've noticed a lot happening in the coin shop. So let's get to it. Alright, as I was saying, I went out shopping today, so I'm going to have a video come out later showing some of these new pickups I got. And as always, they will be available on Facebook Saturday night at 6 p.m. Central on my Facebook group, Centex Live Coin and Bullion Auctions. But anyway, while I was stuck in traffic, I was thinking of a bunch of things that have been, I guess, trending in the coin shop lately. And one of them is, so many people have been asking me, how can you tell real versus fake when you're out like buying at from private people or yard sales or garage sales, whatever, or like flea market type of thing. And it generally tends to be more toward the jewelry side, but it can also apply for the bullion and coins also. So let me discuss a little bit on the jewelry side. We do buy jewelry at the coin shop, and typically it's going to be your silver, your sterling silver, and your gold, whether it be 10 karat, 14 karat. Sometimes we see 18 karat, and extremely rare do we ever see 22 karat gold jewelry, but it does happen. So some of the things that you can do without being able to have an acid test available or a XRF machine. I don't think you're going to be carrying that around anywhere. But a couple of things you can look for when you're doing that is on the jewelry, especially on necklaces or bracelets, the stamp, the location of the stamp and the size of the stamp for what type of material it is a big key. Like on the necklaces and bracelets, they're always going to be near or possibly even on the clasp itself. If they are on the clasp and they're super tiny where you almost need a jeweler's loop to look at them, then I would say 98% of the time, no question, shouldn't be a problem. And then also on the where the bracelet starts away from the clasp, there's also some stamps that'll be there. If there's super huge stamps where you can see it plain as day, holding it 3 feet away from your face, and it's like just huge font, then it throws up questions. Then you need to look at some of the other signs of if they're fake or not. One of those to look for is from the clasp to the bracelet or necklace, there is almost always a loop that connects the two. If that loop is not soldered shut, then it is most likely going to be a fake or plated piece. That's just something that I've learned through the years. We always will acid test something like that because there is a slim chance that they had a clasp replaced and the jeweler just did not solder that loop shut. So that's always a possibility. That's why in shop we'll always acid test just to make sure. The other thing to look for, especially with like gold jewelry, is just the color of it, the shininess of it. If it seems to have like a super crazy mirror finish shine to it, then chances are it's a plated piece or a gold filled piece. The usual gold pieces will have a bright, shine to it, but it won't be like a mirror finish unless it is a special ordered piece that way or something. I'm not sure. But on those, we will usually acid test. But out in the field, like if I'm going to a yard sale or something, typically I would pass on something like that. Then let's see what else. On the rings, there's a lot of swindlers, I guess you can call it, that have been going around our area to like the Walmarts and gas stations and the parking lots and whatnot, trying to sell what they claim to be 18 karat gold rings, and they're huge solid rings too. And one of the biggest things is the location of the marking. If it's all the way up in the thick part where, when it sits on your finger, if it's up on the top part where typically like where the jewels would be set or whatever, then 98% of the time it is going to be fake. And we've had tons of those come into the shop, and I had to break the news to them. We'd even acid test it for them and everything, and they're typically always fake. The other thing is, if they're on the edge, down on the let's say this is the 12 o'clock, that's 6 o'clock. If it's anywhere from 3 to 9 on there, typically it's going to be no problem. That goes for sterling silver as well. What else to talk about as far as, confidently buying in the wild, I guess we call it. I don't know. The other things are to look for maker's marks, like James Avery. Typically, it'll look like a candlestick, I think. And then other ones that are popular is like Pandora or I think it's Zephora. A lot of them sometimes are not silver, but because they are brand names, they are still resellable, no problem. But typically I like to look for the sterling and the gold and see if we can't make a deal on those when I'm out, yard sale hunting and things like that. But those are just a couple of things I figured I'd bring up with jewelry buying. As far as coins go, it gets a lot more detailed, and you got to learn a lot more with that. Just in the feel of the coin, like Morgan dollars, if I pick up a fake Morgan dollar, I can automatically feel if it's a fake, because typically the designs on them are very flat and there's no texture really to it. And then also just I could tell by the weight. Believe it or not, after handling so many of them, even if it's like a regular Morgan dollar is about 27-ish grams, even at 25 grams, I could feel it's not right. It's a little too light. So that's just from experience of handling them for as much as I have. Then there's other things to look at as well, as far as like dates, mint marks. There are certain dates that don't have certain mint marks, like going back to a Morgan dollar. You're not going to find a 1921 Carson City. They just did not make them. Just like you're not going to find a peace dollar with a Carson City mint. So those are things to look at. Some of the biggest fakes that we've had come in are the old draped bust dollars, from 1798 or something like that. There's a couple of them that they only made proofs, and if you happen to have one, it's worth $20,000. And there was somebody saying that, yeah, my uncle was giving these away at a birthday party. I just looked them up, and they said it's a $20,000 coin. No, they're either reproductions or fakes. So when it comes to coins, a lot more knowledge is needed. Silver rounds and things like that, there's one good way to do it that helps is a app that you can download onto your phone. It's a ping test app. Basically, you can balance the round or coin on your finger and ping it with like a little wood doll or even a plastic pen. Just don't hit it too hard to where it flies off your finger. Just enough to get a little ting, and it'll read the resonation sound, the sound vibrations. It'll tell you if it is a correct coin or round. It doesn't work so well for bars, but rounds, like you got the Buffalo rounds, you got the American Silver Eagles, the Philharmonics, the Canadian Maple Leafs, all those, you can test those on that app. So that can help a lot. But then also, you know, after years of handling them, I can usually spot like Silver Eagle fakes pretty easily. The Buffaloes are a lot harder because there's so many different designs, so many different texture to the coins, so many different just how they're minted, just the way they look, and it's a lot tougher. The Silver Eagles, there's only one design, well, there's two designs, but there's only one way that they look, and I can tell a lot of times just by looking at them. But anyway, that's me rambling in the Ranger about all kinds of different ways to test things, or keep an eye out for when you're buying out in the wild, I guess you can call it. And I'm gonna get out here. I got to get home and inventory all the new purchases I got, and then maybe make a video about that. So till then, this is Silver Scrounger saying thanks for watching, and keep on stacking.